Welcome to AlHuTV. Today we have a great product for you from Aiper. Specifically, it's the Scuba V3 model. This is a robot for your pool that allows us to clean the floor and the sidewalls. On the side, Aiper also offers what's called the Ecosurfer, essentially. That's a device that cleans the surface here. On the water, there's a solar panel on top, as you can clearly see. It ensures that you can actually clean the surface continuously, 24/7. You don't have to, but you can. I'll get back to that later. As mentioned, it's solar powered and has a battery built in. So you really have the option to clean the surface continuously. In summer, of course, it's super interesting when the pool is still lit up in the evening and flies end up in it. Then you immediately have something that picks them up. And over here on this side, you have the deep cleaning. Yes, where you can get into the water here, and I want to make it appealing to you right away. I'll show you directly in a time lapse. There you can see how the two work together in harmony. They do that very well, of course. As I said, one cleans the floor very thoroughly here. You can see that very nicely too. It systematically goes along the waterline at the top. That gets cleaned here as well. And the two of them in combination ensure the wonderful result that the pool we want to use the next day or even the same day is always cleaned without us having to spend any time on it. As I said, we can just throw the whole thing in early in the morning or put it in, and then by the afternoon the pool is cleaned. That's what it all looks like. I'd like to introduce a bit more to you. There are still one or two options that we can activate here, so just stay tuned. Now, as I said, here we have the Aiper Scuba V3. This is, of course, a pool robot. It comes with some cool features. Above all, I didn't include this for nothing. There's also a camera built in. Why? Well, I can answer that pretty easily for you. We can have it effectively search for dirt while on patrol mode, as it's called. So it actually stops, rotates 360 degrees, searches for dirt on the floor using the camera, and then drives directly to it. And I can really promise you it does exactly what the manufacturer claims. That's what they advertise. It really drives purposefully to the spot. I had leaves down on the bottom here, and it didn't just go there by chance. It drove there on purpose. It always went exactly to where they were and picked them up. So this patrol feature, the camera, amazing. Honestly, it worked really, really well. I have to say I was actually a bit impressed by it. The whole thing. I used to have the old robots without a lens, just for testing. They just drove around like the old lawn mowing robots that would go crisscross all over the place. In the end, it gets clean too, of course, but this patrol feature was really pretty nice. I was honestly a bit impressed. Of course, we also have the option to clean the bottom using this cross-pattern method as well. But we also have the option to let the pool robot climb up the wall, the whole thing. Here it still has a certain amount of contact pressure because we have this jet here which then pushes the water all the way up to the waterline, cleaning the edge and then going back down. Even cooler is the option that we can actually clean completely along the waterline here. And for that it drives up here. And while it's at the top, it tilts slightly to the side so that it moves along the waterline and cleans this waterline thoroughly. So there are already a lot of really cool features included here, like the AI. The patrol mode is one thing, but this kind of edge cleaning was new to me, and I thought it was pretty cool too. It moves along the edge, then goes back down, up again, and continues on. Really, really nice. Maybe just as some additional info, here we have 300 liters per minute that are being taken in or filtered. You can think of it as a filter, the dirt stays inside and the clean water goes back out. On both sides, we have a brush that ensures we can clean on both sides as well. So it really does a great job. That also shows in many examples here in my clips. The pool definitely needed cleaning after all the action here, but of course I have to say, after a few hours the pool was completely ready to use and thoroughly cleaned. So really great. The whole thing is very efficient. As I said, we have the option here to clean just the floor, from the floor all the way up to the waterline, but we can also specifically clean at the waterline, so that's pretty cool. And here we have the AI patrol, and that actually convinced me. Once the pool is clean, you can just leave it in the water here, on patrol. And then it independently cleans up any dirt it finds there. Yes, then we also have our Ecosurfer here, which cleans at the water surface. I think that's pretty cool actually. We have two nozzles at the back here. I can show them on screen. They provide the necessary propulsion here, basically like two propellers. And of course, the whole thing is also for steering. And the two front sensors located here, you might not be able to see them very well. They detect, for example, when the pool cleaner comes close to the edge or actually reaches the edge. They could also be ultrasonic. Sensors, I'm not exactly sure which sensors are installed there. And then basically it turns around or changes direction and continues moving. So it doesn't just bump clumsily into the wall and get stuck. That doesn't happen here thanks to the sensors. The sensors up front ensure that it moves intelligently and keeps going without getting stuck anywhere. So there's also a certain level of AI involved here. Of course, with the camera, it's a bit different, but for cleaning the water line here, really cool. We also have water is taken in here, and up front, there's a small propeller or something like a scoop that runs here. Leaves and so on go in here, or insects, and are then collected inside. On the underside, there's also, let me show you this, we have a water filter here. We also have the option, for example, to insert a chlorine tablet. I don't know if a pool of this size would get very far with just a chlorine tablet. There are different options. Often people have a large sand filter system installed. You might even be running the whole thing with salt water here. That's also possible. Maybe you have much smaller pools. You can use it for those as well. In that case, the chlorine tablet actually makes sense. You can just let it run like that. You can simply pull it out here. There's the container. You can see it clearly here. I don't really need to show it. It's very simple but very effective, because in the end we want a clean, purified pool. And for that, yes, it does a really, really good job. And what I really liked a lot, the solar energy or the sunlight that we use here again for charging, that works really excellently. I let it run for hours and it was still fully charged. So that's great, really awesome. The two of them together ensure a really, really clean pool. I also think the whole collaboration between the two was fantastic. Of course, I was a bit more fascinated by the pool robot because of the technology, how it moves along the water line above all, but also the patrol with AI. I told you about it with the camera. That was really fascinating. I think the pictures speak for themselves. You don't have to do anything to sugarcoat it because they actually do their job exactly as they were designed to do, cleaning the pool. Floor, wall, and water line. I can of course recommend both combinations to you. We definitely have a very cool duo here. You can find all the details below in my description. You can check out the pool robot. You can of course also check out the Scuba V3, but also the Ecosurfer here. You can take a look at that too. I can recommend both of them to you as a combination. The pool is clean. What more could you want? So really a cool device when it's done with its work. Yeah, because underwater it doesn't have Wi-Fi. We know that too. Then it comes up to the waterline. Yes, swims up to the top waterline. Yeah, then it floats right to the edge, and then you can take it out here. There's also a hook. I haven't included it here now, but we also have the charging station here where you can set it down perfectly. Yes, so it stands upright here. Of course, I set it up so you can also see the camera here in front. With this one, we also have solar energy for charging in case of emergency. If you want, before the first use, I can recommend it. You can also charge the whole thing here again, so you start with a full battery. Otherwise, we can set a lot of things here in the app. Maybe I'll just quickly show you a few excerpts from it. With the pool, it's kept relatively simple. Here you could select the individual devices you want to use, and then we can set different modes here. As I said, these aren't anything spectacular. I already told you about them earlier. You can activate them here at the push of a button, but you can also navigate through them in the app and then underwater. We don't have any Wi-Fi signal underwater anyway. That's something to keep in mind. When it's done, it resurfaces. Or in the worst case, you can pull it out with a hook if you want to stop the whole process. With the Ecosurfer, of course, it's different. On the water's surface, it naturally has the ability to stay connected continuously. Wi-Fi. We can also control the whole thing manually if we want to keep the child occupied. You can just say, hey, sit down. Of course, you can also operate it by hand. That's possible too. A nice toy. But otherwise, of course, it does its job fully automatically. I hope I was able to give you some insight into this. Cool thing. You'll find everything about both products down in the description. Feel free to check it out if you want a clean pool without much effort and want the whole thing to be fully automated. Then you're in the right place here. And I think this is a really good manufacturer when it comes to all of this. I was absolutely satisfied. The pool was clean. I have no complaints. That's my take on it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, leave a comment, subscribe, and give a like. And see you next time on AlHuTV.